Hey everybody, it's Jesse with the Loader Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, and I'm here with your February 2023 real estate market update. So I want to take a look at what happened in January of this year, and I want to compare that to last year. Looking at month to month doesn't always give you the biggest picture, so we need to zoom out a little bit and look at how we're doing today versus where we were a year ago. So of course, the biggest difference in the market these days is the interest rates. The interest rates climbed significantly throughout 2022. And we just, there was another rate hike announced by the Bank of Canada just last week. So hopefully that's the last one for a while. I hope it levels off for a bit and then eventually starts coming down. But one thing I wanted just to remind everybody to keep this in perspective is that right now, you go to the bank, you can get a 5-year fixed rate mortgage for around 4.5%, maybe slightly higher. The fixed rates have actually come down recently instead of creeping up, which of course the media doesn't tell you about. However, those interest rates being in the mid fours is pretty normal. We've been spoiled for a number of years having 3% and sub 3% interest rates. Now they're into that 4.5 range, and those are actually quite normal. So let's look at the numbers from this January, compare them to last year. So this is just in the city of Edmonton itself. The biggest difference is the number of homes that are selling. That is down significantly than where we were a year ago. In fact, we're down just over 26% for the number of homes that are selling. That does not mean that prices have decreased by 26%. In fact, prices are relatively the same. For a detached single-family home in Edmonton, it's around $422,000. That is actually up by 0.7% from where we were a year ago. So that's interesting, right? Typically when the number of sales are down, that usually means the market gets flooded with listings and we have this huge backlog of listings. And because there are more homes to buy than there are people buying them, prices will tend to start coming down. And we haven't seen that, and it's been like this for quite some time now. So it is interesting. Inventory levels are very, very low. If we're looking at a couple of different products. So like I said, the single family homes, they're up about 0.7% from where they were a year ago. Your semi-detached homes, so those are your half duplexes that are not, that are not condos, they're actually down by about 4% from where we were a year ago. When you look at the row housing and townhouse market, that's actually up by almost 6% to where we were a year ago, right? And I'm talking about prices. The average price of a row house right now is about $238,000. And like I said, that's up nearly 6% from where we were a year ago. Condos continue to be abused. They're down another about 10% from where they were a year ago. But these couple of products I want to touch on briefly is that the single family homes seem to be just kind of chugging along just nicely. The duplexes and row housing, I actually think those are going to take the biggest increase in price as we go forward for the next 6, 8, 12 months, simply for the reason that there are some people out there that have been on a variable interest rate and they've been hanging on. Maybe they've been struggling a little bit with the increased payments. They're now going to go and sell that $500,000 house to go buy that $350,000 or $400,000 duplex or row house, something like that, where it's a bit of a more of an affordable payment. And because a lot of people are going to do that, they're going to be snapping up all of these different products, I think the prices are actually going to increase quite a bit on those things. So duplexes and row houses and things like that. So we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball, but I see that happening here over the course of the next, like I said, about 6 to 12 months or so. So what does this mean for you? All right. So if you're a seller out there right now and you're looking to upgrade your home, hopefully you have a nice low interest rate that's prime less 1.5% or something like that, where you can port your mortgage over and these huge increases in payments aren't going to affect you too drastically. But listen, if you're out there and you got to put your home on the market, it's not a bad time to sell. We're just coming into what I call the sweet spot of every single year in selling your home. That really February, March, April, and into May typically is the best time to sell your home because you have less competition, but buyers are they've come out of the woodwork of their winter hibernation and away they go. They're looking at homes. So if you're thinking about putting your home on the market, now is a fantastic time to do that. On the flip side, if you're buying something, it can be a little bit challenging right now, but challenging in a different way than what it was before. Before we had all these issues where there was nothing to buy. So everything was getting snapped up immediately, was going into multiple offers, was selling instantly. We don't really have that issue right now. Homes are selling within a couple months. It's a nice kind of smooth, steady timeline. So if you're a buyer, you can actually plan to when you go look at homes, you can compare homes properly, you can really do your due diligence, and you can make sure that you are finding the right home for you instead of feeling like you might be settling because that's all that's out there. So there's pros and cons to both. When you are selling and you're also buying at the same time, one of those is not going to be ideal. All right. So In a perfectly balanced real estate market, it's not too bad, right? Your home will sell within a reasonable amount of time for a reasonable price, and there'll be enough out there to look at that you can get something that you really love. We're getting pretty close to that. I would say that we're really, really close to a nice balanced market right now. It's not really favored in any one direction, whether that be the seller or the buyer. So as always, everybody's personal situation is a little bit different, and I'm always here to help. If you have any questions about your situation, you want to know how much your home is worth, you want to know how much that house down the street sold for, whatever it might be, please feel free to reach out anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll be back next month with another update. Have a good one.